Coming to you live from the It's Funny Studios. I'm Doug.
I'm Greg.
And this is Mike.
And this is the It's Funny That Makes It Okay podcast. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving week. Gobble, gobble.
Turkey time.
Turkey time. So, yeah, big Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday.
Mine is on Friday this year.
Traditionally,
yes,
it's on Thursday.
Yes.
Some people do. I know some people actually they did it the weekend before. I know families get split up some, or you get big families or people have to travel. You kind of just do. The biggest thing is just getting together and enjoying fellowship and food and fun. So.
Yeah, it's funny. On Thanksgiving Day this year, I think we're going to the local Chinese buffet. So us and my son are going to go, I think, because the daughters are going to in-laws on Thanksgiving, and so we're going to do Friday. So Thursday is kind of on our own.
But yeah.
Maybe they'll have some turkey at the Chinese buffet.
Yeah. It's staring at me.
They might.
It's smiling at me. That's it. It's smiling.
It's smiling.
Chop that head off.
I will say though, the in-law, I contributed to that, but it's tough when you have to stuff your face twice.
It is, and
it's like, I can't.
I want it to be easy, so it's like.
I mean, I'll eat either way.
Yeah.
But,
so yeah, it's all good. It'll be good. So. Did you want me to go ahead then? Or you?
Go right ahead.
Were you going to talk through what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, let's do it. It's pretty much Thanksgiving heavy. We've got a couple things right off the top.
Yep. Our belts are undone. We're leaning back in our chairs.
It's probably TMI
settling for
some
nap.
people, but
yeah.
I know where you're going. Like your belt's undone. Like I don't know what you think this podcast is.
Watching
about,
a football game.
Yeah. So we got a couple of Thanksgiving related would you rather's. I also came up with a list of some. Awkward questions. So if things aren't going well and you want to get the conversation moving, I got some awkward questions. 10 or so different things you can ask that'll make it
conversation starters?
Very uncomfortable. Very
Okay.
uncomfortable conversation starters. And then we have some Reddit's Am I the A-hole? Thanksgiving edition. And then we're going to talk about the Thanksgiving meal, leftovers, kind of create a Thanksgiving table. I found some websites that give some different ideas, and we're going to vote some of them on or off, decide whether they should go on a traditional table or not. And if we vote them off, we got to defend why we want to vote them off.
So we're going to make an untraditional table too then?
No, it's all traditional. That's the only thing I'm going for.
All right.
So anyway, that's all I got.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Cool. All right. Well, I got real quick. A couple weeks ago, we did some Facebook classifieds and things like that, or things people had posted that were wrong on Facebook. I had forgotten to mention one, and I kind of wanted to bring that back up tonight because it was, I don't know, I just found it kind of funny. It's a lost and found. And so this woman posted on the Morton Problems and Solutions page, she put lost, Morton, Illinois. That's it.
She lost the whole town?
So she lost our town. And then below that says, do not chase, comma. Please report location of any sightings by texting this number. Thank you. Name is now Max.
Well, crap. I was chasing Morton when we came into town today.
Yeah. Well, but was it Max or was it?
Well, that would explain why it wouldn't come to me because I was yelling Morton, Morton, Morton. I should have been yelling Max.
So the whole town is missing and its name is Max.
Maybe like Bones, maybe instead of the good cheddar, Morton they need the good pumpkin.
The good pumpkin. We need the top quality
Yes.
pumpkin. Yeah. I don't know how I'm here though. If we're lost, I mean, I don't know how anybody's here. The town's gone.
Yeah, I know.
We would be in the middle of a farm field somewhere, a pumpkin patch. So I don't know. I just thought, and then somebody put, I don't see a pic. And then somebody below that put, well, there isn't one. Ellen must be really busy. I'm sure she'll edit soon. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what they're looking for. I don't know if it's a dog, a cat, and its name is Max. But
at least it wasn't like a party background celebration.
Maybe
Woo,
it's a
missing
person. Her husband.
Yeah,
Max is gone. He left.
He changed his identity.
I came
Now he
home,
goes by
he was
Max.
gone.
Yeah, its name is now Max. So when he got lost, what was its
Well,
name?
yeah, he could have changed his identity.
This was Barney. It's now Max. So,
And if it was a pet and you change his name, it takes a while for a pet to realize its name. Like a cat, never. It doesn't matter what you call a cat because a cat doesn't care.
so
Interesting.
anyways, if you see a town running around,
Name
it
was
answers to
Morton,
Max.
and now it's Max.
Maybe she lost her colon.
Don't chase it.
Could be.
Maybe lost colon. I don't know.
She could have.
So, anyways, all right. And I got one quick gripe. No McDonald's gripes this week.
Oh my goodness! I
What-
don't even.
Just wait. There's plenty of time left in the podcast.
I
We'll
don't even have
see.
anything McDonald's related. I'm like, I am
For
McDonald's.
those of you that are wanting your fix, I had a McDonald's gripe this week, but I put it on our YouTube channel. You can go there and check it out.
Yeah.
I was so furious. I could not wait tonight. I had to get, as soon as they did it, it made me so mad. So if you're curious, check out the YouTube channel. It's funny. That makes it okay. And we've also got product tests out there, and we have some interesting, holiday product tests coming up
Oh,
as
we've
well.
got some doozies coming up.
Ugh.
Not
so-
good for us, but maybe entertaining.
Yes, it will be. So my gripe this week is with Steak and Shake. Now I think is Steak and Shake regional.
Yeah,
Somewhat,
I think it's regional.
I think they're in like a lot of states, but they're
Yeah,
not all over the place.
So if you're not familiar with Steak and Shake, it's kind of the old burger joint. They sell chili mac and hamburgers and hot dogs and all that stuff.
They used to be open 24 hours.
Yeah.
Late
Yeah,
night.
now they're barely open.
Yeah.
And that's my gripe. I went in there, Lori and I did, on Sunday afternoon. It was busy. And we went to the kiosk because they no longer have waitresses or waiters. So we went to the kiosk, placed our order, went to our table, and sat there.
Why does this sound so familiar?
Yes. And sat there. An hour later,
Well, you're getting the vintage Steak and Shake experience, I might
I
add.
guess. But at least back in the day, I'd have a waitress that would come by and, maybe refill our water or something, or I don't know. I was just so frustrated. There was an hour wait. So Lori went back kind of over by where the cash register used to be and looked in the back. There were 3 employees. I mean, the drive-through had a line. There were probably 40 people in the restaurant and 3 people waiting up, taking care of all those people. And it's like, so I kind of understood why there was an hour, but it's very frustrating to wait an hour. A little wait. Okay, I'm fine. I can wait. And even that day, we weren't in a hurry, so we weren't really mad or anything. But it's like an hour. So I don't know. That just kind of, I sent a message into Steak and Shake. I emailed them. I got a free milkshake out of it.
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't used it yet.
You only have to wait 45
Which
minutes
I think
to
you
get
said
it.
I couldn't night because their milkshake
I
machine
went to
was
Steak and
broken.
Shake tonight, and they did not disappoint. They screwed up my order, so
Well, hold on a second. Are we sure that Steak and Shake isn't just a fill in the blank for McDonald's here? For a
no.
second?
I went there
Hold
because I
on.
thought, well, I don't typically eat at McDonald's. I usually just get a drink there, but this time, well, because a lot of times on podcast night we will stop and just grab Culver's, but it's like I don't want Culver's again. So I was like, let's try something different. So we got Steak and Shake. Yeah, I said no onions. I had all kinds of onions. I asked for a large fry. My wife asked for small. We both got the same size, and you can guess they both weren't large. So
No.
they were small and not even full. The small cup wasn't even full. It was just like, here's a handful, small handful.
Yeah.
It's pathetic.
So in my message to management, I put, I miss the old days cause then we got chili mac and it came in it had a red plastic basket
Yeah, I can't wait an
lined with
hour
a
for
black
that.
plastic basket with plastic silverware that like bent when you were trying to cut the spaghetti. It's like, so I messaged them. I'm like, I want to go back to the old glass dishes, metal silverware, and actual glasses for the drinks. I know it's not going to happen.
Well, how bad is the silverware if it can't cut spaghetti?
It's bending. It's like
If it can't cut spaghetti, that's pretty bad.
it's bad.
That's a wet noodle.
It's very
literally
flimsy. It's
a
very,
wet noodle.
It's very flimsy plasticware, and it's just the spaghetti's in this black basket. It's plastic, and it's like, I don't know. It's just, it's lost.
Now, to be fair, Greg is very much an ambiance guy. Ambiance means a lot to Greg. It really does. He wants the whole ambiance experience.
I want the mood music. I want no. But there is a certain. Each restaurant has its own ambiance, and I
not
like
anymore.
It.
They used to.
It got very generic.
Now it's all bad. That's the ambiance.
Yeah.
Well, now the ambiance matches the experience now. It's
really
all
does.
bland and depressing, and you know what you're going to get when you walk in.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Steak and Shake just feels like I picture something now out of when I would read books, sci-fi books back in the 70s, and they would talk about how everything was stark and,
automated. You walked up and this little door slid open, and they push your plate out.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I mean, because they did. You don't, like, when your food does come, I hear, Greg, and I go up there and there's my tray with my food on it. And it's like the gal had slid it out there, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's just lost all
not good
ambiance. As you said, I do like the ambiance. So.
And I did look real quick while you were talking, and it looks like, I don't know if they're in every state, but they are coast to coast. I mean, they're out from New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, all the way to California, Montana, Texas.
Yeah. Used to be, you would go in there after a Friday night ball game. It would be packed and like.
That's what I was about to say.
High energy, people are just,
Well, high energy because it was full of 13, 12-year-olds.
I know, but it still had a certain vibe to it. Whereas now the vibe is death.
Before it was this absolute uncontrollable chaos.
Yeah.
And pandemonium.
Yeah.
And now it's, I mean, I haven't been in there for a long time, but
yeah, it's just,
it doesn't sound good.
No, it's just very stark. And I mean, I don't know. Steak and Shake was patterned after like 50s diners.
Well, it was made in the 50s. So yeah.
It doesn't feel at all like a 50s diner.
No.
Now. There's not a single girl on roller skates in there.
No, there's not.
So anyways, that's my gripe this week. Steak and Shake is now unnoticed. They're not up to McDonald's standards yet. That takes
That's bad.
Or down to McDonald's standard.
Well,
however
it depends on how you look at it. Where's the starting point?
It takes years to accumulate to that level.
Oh.
But anyway, so that's my gripe.
Okay. That's it?
That's it. So if you see a town running around by the name of Max, grab that. And
I don't know if you want to go to Steak and Shake or not now that Greg's griped about it. So.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, we're going to move into our Would You Rather. But before I do that.
Would you rather?
Like I said,
game music.
I found some kind of icebreaker questions. Some people they get together with families and they may not talk to them all year, or they're kind of
because they're all sleeping in their chairs. Remember, I talked about that last week.
They're kind of estranged, or maybe they don't even like them. So these are some awkward, maybe borderline inappropriate icebreaker questions. We don't have to answer them. You can, feel free, but I'm just going to do this. So if you are easily offended, you'll want to hit the fast forward button about 30 seconds.
Okay, I'll be back down in about 15 minutes.
Well, if you're easily offended, I don't know what you're doing listening to us. That's a whole nother subject. So here we go. These are around 10. I'm not going to do all 10. There's a couple I'm going to edit out because I'm not going to use those. But it says, the first one says, do you think this turkey died quickly or did it suffer a while? So you can bring that one up.
How do they kill turkeys for Thanksgiving?
Usually chop off the head. Well, that's how we did when we lived out in the country. You just whack the head off like you do a chicken. Now, in the large factories and stuff, I don't know. I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah. Because I worked at a place that had a kill floor for cows and pigs, and I saw how they did that, but I didn't know about turkeys.
I don't know on a
Maybe they
mass
hire
scale.
chickens to kill the turkeys.
So wait a minute, you're telling me these things just don't come from the grocery store?
Well, they do.
No. Eventually, but yeah. Yeah. And if anyone out there has ever killed turkey and you had to pluck turkeys and gut them, it is not.
You wouldn't want to eat the turkey by the time you
plucking a turkey or a chicken is horrible. It's an awful, awful experience. I don't recommend it.
Good. I'll steer clear.
All right. So here is a second one from this website. It says, if we weren't related, would you have sex with me?
Oh.
So That'll make things a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, that's
A little uncomfortable.
That's not being said at all.
Did you really spend all day cooking? Said, did everyone bring food to help pay for the food? Did everyone help bring money? Sorry. Let's start this again. Did everyone bring money to help pay for the food? Hey, sis, did your, in air quotes, infection finally clear up?
Oh, come on.
You go in and just sit down and just look at a couple and say, wow, you guys are still together? It says, when you guys go number 2, do you sit or stand to wipe your rear? Like,
What in the world?
Where I'm not discussing my potty habits at all.
so I said these are awkward icebreakers that, you want to shake it up a little bit. Maybe things are quiet.
These are
People
like
aren't talking.
These are like 1 to 100 instantly
Yes.
between
Yes.
questions. Like, oh my gosh.
And then they give this example. Now, obviously, you could change it for whatever situation you find yourself in. It said, Aunt Susan, I know you've been through a divorce, lost your cat, your kids hate you, you got fired from your job this year, but what are you thankful for? So that was the last one that I'm going to do with those. So anyway, some awkward icebreakers for you. out
Yeah,
there.
I'll try to remember one of those this year.
All right. Would you rather? The Thanksgiving edition. So,
Yes.
Would you rather wash your hair with mashed potatoes or take a bath in gravy? Who wants to go first? Who wants to tackle that?
I'll do that one. I'll knock it out.
In the end, are things being completely washed off of you? Or are you just, whenever you're
It just
done,
says
you're just
take
done?
a bath in gravy and wash your hair in mashed potatoes.
Well, I say there's no water involved then because those are replacing the water. So, easy one for me. I'm going washing the hair with potatoes. I
Yeah.
figure I can squeegee most of that out with my hands. Yeah, I'm going to have greasy hair for the day, but hey, that'll be a nice look.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going the same way, just because I'm not getting it everywhere. The gravy is going to be going everywhere.
Yes, it's every creek and crevice and
No, I don't want that.
all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, no thanks.
And I went the same way. I went mashed potatoes, and for the same reason. If you get in a tub of gravy, you're going to have gravy in every nook and cranny. The
Yes.
nooks are fine, but I don't want gravy in my cranny. I'm
No.
going to tell you that right now. That is
No.
not a good feeling. And it's just going to be that slick. It's going to feel like you've been to the doctor and you've had your exam all day.
All day though.
Yeah, not a good feeling. I don't think I would like
You
that.
might have dogs following you around.
Yeah. All right. Our other would you rather says, without explanation, would you rather eat your entire Thanksgiving dinner using no utensils, no knives, no forks, no spoons, no serving utensil? So, you just got to pick it, grab handfuls of stuff. Or eat your Thanksgiving dinner in nothing but your swimsuit and a pilgrim's hat. You just walk in, sit down in your bathing suit and a pilgrim hat, and start eating. Or walk in and just start eating with your hands, just grabbing handfuls of stuff, slamming it on your plate.
One of you guys can go first.
Okay. This one I think is a little bit tougher, but I can tell you right now, for the sake of myself and everyone else, I'm not choosing the bathing suit and pilgrim hat.
So you're just going to go.
I'm just
hands
going
all
in.
all in.
Yeah.
So you're last in line.
Everyone
this
is
year.
gonna. Everyone
He's
is gonna-
first. He might be first. We don't know.
everyone's gonna hate you either way in this instance. I feel like, but I'm going. I'm not sitting in a bathing suit at a table.
All right, I'll go next. I'm taking the bathing suit and the pilgrim hat because I don't want to be rude to everybody else by reaching my hands into all the food and just grabbing handfuls of it, scooping the gravy out with dumping it on my plate.
Oh, but you'll be rude by sitting there with no shirt on.
I don't have to look at myself.
Everybody else
I
suddenly
will
lost their appetite.
I'll be eating, just fine.
Well, the appetite will be killed with you touching with your hands, or they'll be killed, or it'll be killed with you sitting there with the swimsuit on.
Grabbing the turkey and ripping chunks of it off.
See, that'll be the easy one to do. I think. You
It's
grab
things like the stuffing and mashed potatoes that might be tough.
yeah, you do that. That's
Yeah.
when
Gravy.
it gets bad. That's when it
Jell-O.
gets bad.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go bathing suit and the pilgrim hat.
I am as well going bathing suit and pilgrim hat. Not gonna put my hands on all the food.
Yeah,
It's just I don't know. I just feel bad doing that for everybody else. If it was just me having the dinner, okay, I could probably figure out a way to do it. But if everybody's got to be behind me and
We're not
gotta,
rude like some people.
yeah, uncouth or
Well, didn't say you couldn't wash your hands in between. Keep it sanitized.
yeah, I'm still going with the bathing suit. I mean, but it's getting kind of cold eating dinner too with no shirt on.
We'll crank the heat up. You can crank the heat up for dinner. Just walk in there and slap my bare belly. All right, let's eat.
Yep, the pilgrim's here. Yeah. What's on the bathing suit? Is it like turkey bathing suit?
I don't know. We didn't. I mean, I'm hoping it's board shorts and not like a
Speedo. It's
Yeah, I
a
would say
Speedo.
you
It's a
just-
Speedo.
Just specify that
I
either.
might have to rethink.
It's a Speedo. We're going to say it's a Speedo.
I like that. I like the stakes of that.
All right, I'll still go
Raise
with
it.
that. Let me stand up and say grace, everybody. What am I thankful for?
Don't turn around.
Forgot the sunscreen at home. Let me grab some gravy real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was it. That was the last
All
one.
All right. Well, Doug and I in our bathing suits and hat, and Mike's sticking his hands in the food.
No one wins at this Thanksgiving.
No, they do not.
At this point, the would you rather or the questions, those are the easy part. At this point.
Yes, they are. All right. Well, let's go into the Am I the A-hole? And how this works for those that don't know is Reddit. They put out, what do they call that?
It's like a thread. Yeah.
Of people will write in some scenario, and then they ask, am I the jerk or the a-hole for this? And then we are going to judge them and decide whether
Because
yes
that's what
they
we
are
do.
or no they are not.
You judge people.
So the first one, it says, am I the a-hole
We
for
should
not...
have live people come here and judge them. Just sit down at the end of the table.
Maybe we could do a live call-in.
Yeah.
Put out there, call in with your live questions, and we'll just answer it, and we'll judge.
Yeah, we'll judge you.
Am I the a-hole for not covering Thanksgiving? It says for a narc, but I don't...
Narc.
So, yeah. I guess because this person told their boss on the other person, but I'll just read it. It's kind of long. I'm going to try to shorten it up somewhat here. It says, at my workplace, we regularly bribe each other to trade shifts. Usually, it's like a good bottle of wine or booze or gift certificates for a restaurant, but it can be cash. We keep it on the down low, and it works. We do IT services for a financial company, so Thanksgiving weekend is sort of important. One of my coworkers does not like to pay to trade shifts, but has before. They always complain about how it's unfair for people like me who are unmarried and have no kids get holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas off. Then he goes into a gripe about sorry that you decided to have kids and I can go do other things. So anyway, it says my parents are actually going to Bermuda, but he says I would like to see my family and friends on Thanksgiving just as well. So it says I mentioned this to another coworker and the other one overheard it. It's her turn to be in the office and on call for the holiday. She couldn't find anyone to cover her shift, so she basically begged me to cover for her. I liked my plan, so I said no. She finally offered me money. Well, if The Simpsons taught me anything, it's that money can be exchanged for goods and services. So we haggled and then agreed. She would take my New Year's Eve shift and gave me a couple $100 to cover her from Thursday to Sunday. Win-win, I thought. 2 days later, my boss came over and asked me if I wanted to change the schedule as I had agreed. I asked why he was getting involved, as we usually just handle it amongst ourselves. He said that he had gotten a complaint that I extorted money out of a coworker for covering their shift. He said that while it wasn't against company policy, it was frowned upon. I said I understood and that no money had changed hands and that I didn't want to take the shift. I don't want to change. My boss was promoted from the ranks, so he knew the score. He knew how things worked. So he was cool. My coworker, not so much. She started bugging me, saying that she already told her parents that her family would be coming and that I was being an a-hole for not covering like I said. I told her that someone had gone to the boss and tattled on our deal, so I could not go through with it since I didn't want to get in trouble. She said that I could do it for free, and I declined. She said she would pay me more than what we agreed on. I said, no thanks. I don't want any trouble. Says now she's causing all kinds of problems and griping because I won't take her shift. So that is the scenario.
Wow, that's a complicated one.
That is a complicated one. So is he the a-hole for reneging? I guess there's a lot going on.
There's a lot of layers to this.
First, it's, is it fair that people with kids have to work shifts, during the holidays when they could be with their family? No, but I mean, that's your choice. That's my choice. I mean, I don't expect someone else to, I have a family and kids. I wouldn't, if Mike, you worked with me and you were single, I wouldn't expect, well, you should work all the holidays. No.
I think that's irrelevant to the job.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I say.
So, I mean, in fairness, I've worked at places before when I've traded with guys, or if I'm not a big partier and some of the guys were, and they were going to work Thanksgiving. I'd say, listen, if you want, or not Thanksgiving, New Year's Eve, say if you don't want to work New Year's Eve, I'll switch one of these other holidays with you, and we can, and we'll switch off and on, do stuff like that. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Mike? That's.
So ultimately, it comes down to how you feel about backing out of a agreed upon deal. I guess that's where this will come down to. I mean, I'm going to say this is going to be tough. I'm going to say he's not the a-hole in this instance, because now he's caught in a lose-lose situation where if he backs out on her, he's obviously backing out of a deal he agreed to, which is, again, it's not great once you've agreed to. Nobody wants to back out. But also at the same time, if he goes through with it, he could face more severe consequences, I feel like, from management that may lose his job or something. I don't know how far that would go. So I'm going to say he's not, because if he goes through with it and helps her out in the here and now, it may backfire on both of them potentially and cost them more in the long run than had he gone through with it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a toss-up.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I think there was a mistake made somewhere to allow this practice to start, where they're exchanging cash for days off and things like that.
That's the part that kind of makes it interesting for me. It's like when you start throwing in the extra wrinkle of goods or whatever,
yeah,
there's bartering going on.
Yeah.
Bartering going on here. I don't know. It raises the stakes of this little thing.
Yeah, I never worked anywhere where it got to that point where other employees would be like, well, if you work this, I'll give you $100. I never encountered that before, so that's kind of weird to me. I guess that's the level people will go, so that they can have the day off or whatever. But we've just always tried to, like when I worked retail, we just tried to make it as fair as possible. I mean, and like you said, there might be times where I wanted Christmas Eve off and somebody else wanted New Year's Eve off, and I would say, okay, you work Christmas Eve, I'll work New Year's Eve. Okay, what's the trade-off? Okay, no money exchanged hands or anything, but we just tried to make it as fair. So I think I agree with you. I don't think he is, due to the fact that someone narked out to the bosses and now he's being called to question on it. And it could be detrimental to everyone's jobs, really, because this is going to probably pop up again.
No matter what way he steps here, he's kind of in trouble. And Doug, did this person bring up the fact about the first coworker because they think that's who narked out on this? No,
I think he thinks that this person, the way I took it was when he was dealing with this woman that was wanting to trade, and they worked out a price.
Right.
Afterwards, he kind of alluded to the fact that maybe she got a little cold feet about her. I thought, well, that's not fair. So she went to the boss and said, hey, he's trying to trade shifts with me, but he wants me to pay you $200. Like, well, you agreed to do.
Well, then in that case, I definitely say he's not.
Yeah,
because she's changing gears on him.
Yeah, I'm sorry if that didn't come across, but that was the way I read it.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes me feel a little bit stronger in my answer too.
Yeah.
And I agree. I said he's not either for that same reason. Like this person, look, you could say, is it fair or not that certain people work certain holidays and some don't.
Right.
But and places I've worked before where we've had to work holidays, we've kind of did that too, where if you were off, so that if you worked Thanksgiving, you didn't work Christmas Day or New Year's, and then so we'd split it up. So then if you worked Christmas, then you didn't have to work Thanksgiving, or so that way you weren't getting tagged for all three of those holidays.
Yeah, we would try to work it out between the assistant managers. Be like, okay, first I think we would start and we would go to the manager and be like, do you have a preference? I mean, because if everybody's preference was different, then it solved itself. Like this person said, well, I would rather work not work Thanksgiving and then work Christmas and New Year's. Okay, cool. Because I would rather not work Christmas, but I'll work Thanksgiving and or whatever. So
see, where I worked, we were on call for the week. So you had Thanksgiving week or Christmas week or New Year's week.
Yeah.
So you would just pick what week. Hey, I want to do this one or I want to do that one. Unless there was, some extenuating circumstance, we'd swap things around. But it was pretty loose. We weren't real.
Because it's a lot of nerve to work out the deal and say, I'm going to pay you a couple $100 and then go to the boss and say, hey, he extorted money from me.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'd say
we all said you're off the hook.
Yes.
You're good. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and don't feel guilty about it at all.
Don't rub it in that she has to work.
Oh, I would.
Me too.
I'd say, what are you doing for Thanksgiving? Oh, that's right.
That's right. You got to work.
Well, you could get you a nice turkey sandwich from the deli downstairs or out of the vending machine.
Yeah.
All right. This next one, I think it's going to be different because this is a fiance, and I think if they were married, it might affect this a little different. But I'll read that scenario again. This one's a little longer too. Says, am I the a-hole? Okay, here we go. Me and my fiance, both in our 20s, have been together for 3 years and had a long-distance relationship. This is supposedly her first Thanksgiving with my family. Now, I never understood why he said supposedly here. But
maybe she secretly went to his family for Thanksgiving.
I feel like it should be pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. Says, my mom invited us to attend Thanksgiving dinner, and when I told my fiance about the invitation, she asked about what was prepared for dinner, and I said the traditional dishes every home prepares for Thanksgiving, and she made a face and said she'll accept the invitation and go, but will bring her own cooked food with her. I was shocked. I asked, why would you do that? Because as far as I know, you're not allergic to anything or vegan. And she hadn't even tried my mom's cooking. She said that she said that it's just her choice and she wanted to eat something else to add new flavor for Thanksgiving, since she's always forced to eat the same old traditional meal every year by her family. Well, it's once a year. It's once a year. Okay.
And you're going to draw the line in the sand when you go visit the new family?
I'm sorry. I'm editorializing here. Instead of, it says, I was mad. I told her it'd be disrespectful of her first-time guest at our family Thanksgiving, but she said it was better than telling my mom to cook other dishes specifically for her. I told her she cannot bring food with her, and she insists. And if she insists, then she needs to stay home and not come with me because I'm not about to let her offend my mom's cooking. She got all dramatic, almost started crying, saying I was being controlling and that I should just let her come and bring her own food instead of overreacting like I was. I stood my ground. She kept saying she wanted to bring food, that she wasn't willing to go hungry to please my mom. I had it at this point and got ready to go over to my parents' house, who live hours away. I got in my car with my stuff and left her behind crying. Then she started calling me saying I should not have went, and I left her alone at home, and that was wrong. It shouldn't be making this a hill to die on, and I was causing her to miss her my mom's invite. I'm at my parents' house now, so this must have been last year. I made up some excuse as to why my fiance didn't come. I'm still bothered by what happened, especially when she's keeps guilting me for leaving her behind, calling me selfish jerk and whatnot. So anyway, that was what. So is he an a-hole for leaving his fiance and going to his parents all by himself? I'll go first on this one.
Yeah,
since
go ahead.
I didn't. I'm going to say no, he is not. Maybe could have handled it a little bit better. And the reason I say, if this is your wife, boy, if you leave your wife at home, that could end very poorly. But these are the kind of things you need to work out ahead of time. And this, maybe, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. disguise. This is kind of a red flag to me if she acts like this and you're just dating or you're engaged. I'd be a little worried about what else is coming. She sounds immature.
Yeah.
Again, only getting one side of the story, just his side, just from what he said. It's like, it's Thanksgiving Day. And if you're invited to somebody's house, if I'm invited to Mike says, hey guys, I'm having Thanksgiving. You want to come over? And I say, yeah. I don't just say, okay, I'm going to bring ham and cheese sandwiches and some chocolate chip cookies. Like, well, we're having Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, but I don't want to eat your Thanksgiving dinner. So, you don't do that to somebody. When they invite you over, I may ask, hey, do you need me to bring something? You want me to bring something, or let me help out, or I'll bring you, some kind of a housewarming gift, something. So I don't just show up empty handed. But I say no. I say he's not.
All right. I'll go. I agree. I think he's not. I mean, she said in there that he is making this the hill to die on. Isn't she equally making this the hill to die on? Because she's not bending in at all. She's not going like, well, at some point I'd like to maybe try something different for Thanksgiving to make, start our own tradition or whatever with, maybe have this food or that food. But she was like, no, I'm bringing my own food and not trying, even though she said, I have to eat the same old traditional food every year. So she's done it for many years in the past. Why can't she go one more year and go eat traditional Thanksgiving dinner? Isn't it more important to go spend time with his family than it is about what the food is? I don't know. That's my thought. I mean, and you're right. They need to determine this while they're engaged than after they're married. It's okay to start other traditions after you're married, but if the mom invited you and you said yes, no, you're not bringing different food. So I can understand if there was some medical reason or something like that, but just because I'm tired of the same old, and I want to try something different, well, try that next year. I mean, or eat it next weekend, or do it Friday. I mean, this one meal you can come eat while we're all eating.
Yes, I agree with you.
Well, you guys cleaned it up pretty good. I was going the same way. And the main point I was going to make kind of went with what you were saying, Greg, is if you are so interested in having a non-traditional meal, why are you making that his family's problem and not your family's problem?
Yeah.
If at anything, why can't you offer to, or why couldn't she make the offer to her parents? Like, hey, let's do something a little bit different this year. If you're forced to do the same thing every year, don't make that your fiance's family's problem.
Family.
When again they've extended the offer to you to join them for the meal, that's just common courtesy to, like Doug said, you offer what can you do, that type of a thing, and just be appreciative that you're there. And not everyone is the center of the universe. I think some people need to understand that. The world does not revolve around you.
What?
And, what? Yeah, there's no McDonald's this week apparently, so we'll have to get one of those out there. But that's the theme I see a lot in these Am I the A-holes, is the world just does not always make you the center of attention.
Oh, but it does.
So sometimes you might, and it's a great life lesson for marriage. If you're engaged now, you're going to have to make sacrifices. This is going to be the first of many sacrifices.
Yeah,
to make
we have to move our Thanksgiving to Friday because our kids want to go to their other families.
And ideally, in a compromise, neither party is 100% satisfied. I mean, that's really what a compromise is.
Yeah.
Is although most of the time it seems like I'm 100% unsatisfied, but I don't know why that is. It seems like I get nothing.
Yeah, nobody ever makes the sacrifice for me.
Yeah, there's no give on the other side, but that's fine.
Actually, maybe Thursday I'll go to McDonald's and get a turkey burger.
I was going to say too, Greg, this might be the good time to tell you, but I was going to bring ham and cheese sandwiches on Friday. So, just for me though.
Just your own meal.
For your own, yeah.
You show up with McDonald's.
Yeah. Courtney's here to eat the other stuff.
Yeah, I'm at McDonald's, guys. Oh, good.
Mike's home.
Yeah.
Where's Mike? Oh, he's at home crying.
So we agreed on 2 of them. I'm trying to get some that will split the room.
I know.
So, well, that's fine. We'll see what happens. Okay. Am I the a-hole for insisting my sister-in-law not bring side dishes to Thanksgiving dinner? So let's see what this does. My brother and sister-in-law recently moved to the same state as my husband and myself. So this year will be our first Thanksgiving not hosted by my mother-in-law. It was assumed that I would host dinner, and I'm okay with that. When asked what to bring, we said that they could come empty-handed if they'd like. Alternatively, they could bring wine and or dessert. My in-laws have noticeably dirty hands and often have dirt under their nails. Cooking is not a strong suit and only causes stress, and they get very offended if you don't eat their cooking. So my husband and I agreed that bringing a side is not an option. My sister-in-law offered a side, and we politely declined. She joked that she had already planned the side dish, so we laughed and declined. I half jokingly offered to let her make the whole meal, and the tone quickly changed. I say you cook or host, or I cook or host. End of story. Am I the a-hole? Greg, we're going to let you go first on this
I
one.
picture the sister-in-law running her hands through the mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
That's why I was laughing. I was like, oh, who picked that scenario again?
So is she being the A because she does not want her sister-in-law, right?
Yeah.
To bring a side dish.
That's what she
But
said.
she'll let her bring dessert. What's to say the girl wouldn't make a homemade dessert?
I don't know.
They make their own wine.
Oh, walk in the grapes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this one is a tough one for me. I read this one, I was like, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this one.
Yeah, because you want to be gracious and let people bring stuff, but they have noticeably dirty feet and hands, or hands, I guess.
But yeah, they didn't say feet. I have no idea what their feet look like.
Yeah, hands.
Maybe their house is in state of disrepair. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm puzzled why she said she could bring a dessert though, because she could make a dessert.
She could.
Maybe she thinks there's a better chance she'll go buy a pie or something. That's probably it. 'Cause
Maybe.
most people don't go buy side dishes usually. They usually make something.
Not usually.
So I guess I get it. And she said they get upset if you don't eat their food too, right?
Well, that's what she said.
Because I'd say let her bring it.
They
but
get
then,
very offended if you don't eat their cooking.
part of me is like, let her bring it. Just skirt around it as much as possible and kind of see, discreetly pitch your plate while it's still, got some of it on there. So take a scoop, but then just eat around it, dabble in it a little bit, with your spoon, and then, maybe dump a little in a napkin.
When you're all done, because you don't want to take that spoon from that food and go back and start eating something else.
No. I'm going to say she is a little bit being the A.
Well, it's either yay or nay. This isn't
She's
some
a
weird
little.
thing. It's 1 or 0. It can't be non-binary or some weird thing like that
If
about this.
we want call-ins or live, you gotta commit.
All right. She's being the A.
Okay. We're not politicians. You got it. You have to give a vote.
She's being the A, I guess. I understand why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, I'll stick with my answer.
Okay.
I'm not wholly convinced. But
I actually put yes as well, and I had all the same things. It's like, look, you're hosting and stuff, but still, then just tell them, if they ask, don't make a suggestion like, well, you could do this or that. Tell them, say, I'd love it if you brought a bottle of wine, and just leave it at that, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if they bring something, I was thinking the same thing too. You could kind of leave it, put it out there, put it on your plate off to the side a little bit. eat some stuff, and then have a little bit and kind of mix everything around before you're done and look like, oh, we ate it.
Yeah. And then when you go back in to refill your turkey,
Take
you
some of
dump
hers.
that other stuff in the trash.
Yeah, and take a little extra of theirs out and put it in the trash so it looks like more of it's gone. It's once a year. It's just once a year. You just get through it. But I said yes as well.
Or you can be brutally honest and say, would you please wash your hands before you make something?
Yes. Look, you're a slob. You're a disgusting slob. So, see, I'm surprised at myself because I am a germaphobe. I'm a little better than I used to be, but I do struggle with that. And so I have this tendency. I would want to not have them. I'll just fix everything.
Yeah.
I'll just host it. See, then I would be the a-hole. And I know, and I would fully own it and like, yes, but I want it this way.
Have you
I
ever
didn't say she's wrong. I just said she is being kind of the A.
Have you ever been to a dinner or a potluck or something where it's less than desirable conditions that the food is being prepared in, and you sit there and struggle about eating?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I have too.
Been to some church potlucks from years ago.
Oh yeah.
You're like, I don't know who brought. There's certain people like, what did you bring?
I'm at the front door watching who's bringing.
Well,
it.
yeah, I was
Okay,
like, oh,
okay.
what'd you bring? They bring that.
Mark,
It's like, ooh, I've grabbed my wife's hand. It's like, don't take this. Don't check this.
yeah, there might be something moving.
Don't take that. So anyway,
So you said
I said yes.
I'm going to say no.
No,
She's not.
Mike goes with the no.
I'll
You
break.
split the room.
I'll break. So the reason I said no, and I feel like I was going to be a hypocrite either way if I said she was or wasn't, because it's breaking some of the stuff I established in the previous story.
No, each story's its own thing.
Yeah.
You're fine.
So I said no, she's not, because I would say I do appreciate the family's willingness to help, right? As opposed to the first story or whatever that was, where they had to have it their way or the highway.
Yeah.
So that I'll give that one to the corner of the family for going that step and insisting, like, hey, we have to contribute your hosting.
Yes, and you're going to eat it.
But I think in my head the ultimate decision lies in the hoster. Like, they're hosting, they're going to set the rules, that type of a thing. And again, they can set to be as little or as much accommodating to those rules, I guess, as they want to be, because they're hosting. I didn't necessarily like it's either I'm going to do it or you're going to do it all. I don't know if I was a big fan of that, but in the end, I think I'm going to have to side on.
Well, yeah, what would she
hosting.
do if the gal had said, okay, well, I'll do it all?
Well,
now you got to go to their house and eat all their food.
I feel like she threw that out there because she knew.
You bring your own.
Yeah. Get the ham and cheese. Because I feel like she threw that out there as a kind of like a tool.
Like,
that
I know she
used,
won't do
because
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's not going to go for that. So she wanted to keep as much control over the situation and leverage that power over it by making that. And it could have gone very wrong, like you're saying, Greg. Like, it could have backfired totally, and then she would have been stuck eating everything.
Yes, now you're getting E. coli from the turkey.
But I'm gonna. That's what broke it for me, was that she's hosting, so she's gonna. If she wants to do that for whatever reason, she wants to prepare everything, then so be it. Let her do it. But
Okay.
it's like the opposite end of not contributing. You're taking like complete control, but you're not. You're willing to do everything. You're just not willing to accept the help.
All right. Got one more, and then we'll move on to the dinner. The Thanksgiving dinner. It says, am I the a-hole for sending my brother a bill after our Thanksgiving meal? So let's see what this means. It says, the evening before Thanksgiving, my siblings, older sister, younger brother, all of us are in our 20s, decided to put on a last-minute Thanksgiving with just us three. My brother offered to bring the turkey since he got one free from work. My sister and I said we could throw some sides together. We all seemed excited and laughed at how this was going to be a complete blank show, since none of us had ever put together a large meal. My sister and I picked up the groceries for the sides that we normally have at our family Thanksgiving: mashed potatoes, gravy, green bean casserole, sweet potato, buns, and wine and beer. My brother said he'd come over at noon, and when he got there with the turkey, we were still cooking. As predicted, we underestimated how long it would take to prepare. Fumbled through timing out the oven stove timing. So I don't know. So their timing was off. He was clearly very put out and grumbled about how he said he was going to be there at noon. Grabbed a drink, went over to the couch, turned on the TV while my sister and I continued to cook. No offer to help cook. In parentheses. Okay. Sides all finished at different times. My brother became increasingly upset. We ended up having the full meal done around 2, but we were having bites of it, what was already finished. We, my sister and I, joked that the meal was coming out in courses. By the end of it, though, my sister and I were actually really proud of ourselves. So she's patting herself on the back about how great she did. My brother is a picky eater. We got food we always have at the usual Thanksgiving, so we thought it was safe. He apparently didn't like that we put rosemary in the mashed potatoes. So he avoided those, and was clearly skeptical of the rest of the sides. Kind of picked around those. His meal was mostly turkey and gravy. The day after, my sister and I put all of our receipts together, split them up evenly between the 3 of us. Again, my brother got the turkey free at work, and then my mom actually gave him all the seasoning and ingredients he needed for the rest when he told her he was making it. So literally his only contribution to Thanksgiving was actually cooking the turkey. My sister and I soon got a call from my mom shaming us because my brother complained. We unexpectedly sent him a bill, and he said that he wasn't even consulted on the sides and didn't even like the food we made. She said that she would never think to charge people she invited over for Thanksgiving. My siblings and I are in our My siblings and I are all early in our careers and all make a similar income. We generally plan this together, and even though my sister offered to have us at her apartment, I would never assume she was going to treat the 2 of us to an entire Thanksgiving meal. He also failed to mention he drank most of the alcohol my sister bought. I thought we were all on the same page about what to expect, and I honestly thought that the meal exceeded expectation. And then there's a little edit that said, my sister didn't invite us over for a dinner as a host. We were discussing getting together. We just all agreed that her place was the best because she didn't have roommates and had a big kitchen. So, anyway, that's it. They sent him a bill. So I don't know who wants to go first. Or
I go first, yeah. I'll loop it back around. Yes. Yes, you are for sending a bill. And you can make it sound as nice as you want at the end by saying you weren't, or whoever was hosting, clearly you were not on the same page, because I have a feeling if he knew he was going to be charged at the end, I feel like maybe it would be a little bit different scenario than what actually happened. And in his mind, he actually kept charges down for everyone by having a free turkey and willing to offer it as a, hey, I got a free turkey, I could use it for whatever, but let's use it on our little Thanksgiving get-together. And on top of that, this is similar to me to, I guess if you go out to a group dinner, somebody says dinner's on me, and then you go grab the most expensive item on the menu and roll up the charges. I don't know. It's like, don't be that person. And in this instance, if it wasn't explicitly said, hey, at the beginning, we're going to even this out. I mean, he's already, again, even though it was free to him, he's offering you. So he's kind of already paying part of it, like saving money on his end, which would have lowered the overall total that people were going to pay. If that cost wasn't explicitly stated at the beginning, yeah, I'm going to say he's right to be kind of shocked by this. And you can say, it was clearly communicated. Obviously, it wasn't.
Yeah. And she did say at the very end she said, to be fair, we did not say we would split the meal when we started this.
Yeah, that's the caveat, I think.
It's kind of like shooting your argument in the foot.
Yeah. I put yes for a lot of the same reasons that they are the a-hole, because you can't say, hey, let's get together and do this. You bring the turkey, whether I got the turkey for free or not.
Right.
Maybe that was my Christmas bonus, or whatever.
Right.
I was going to use that turkey or cook it up. I could have done something with it. Now, I could have got done and said, hey, what all did you spend, or what did you, throw some money together? Or they could have said, hey, would it be okay if we all just, even after they ate, it's like, this was a little expensive. How about we all just split this up instead of just sending him the bill?
Yeah.
Even after after it was done, tell him, don't just send me a bill.
Right. That's the part that I think probably would be the most irritating. Like, why didn't we talk about this? Or maybe they could have worked something out like, hey, you guys maybe paid more out of pocket, even though we made the point. And this guy was probably given this turkey for a reason. But maybe he wants to go a little bit more in for like a Thanksgiving thing or something in the future where it's a more amicable more positive thing than just getting charged.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine doing that to your own. And like, hey, by the way, here's a bill for stuff. And it's like, what?
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. They are being, mainly because there was no communication up front, it sounds like. Like I said, even if they had said, hey, we're going to go buy all the ingredients for all the sides. We realize you've got the turkey, so we'll absorb, however they want to break it down. We'll absorb 70% of it. Do you mind paying 30% of it? And, as part of the meal, plus, you hammered quite a bit of our alcohol. Do you mind chipping in for some of that?
Yeah.
But just to send a bill without any communication, a little tacky.
Yep, that's what put it over the line for me.
And maybe had he known more up front, he would have been, yeah, sure, I'll actually contribute more. I got the turkey. I can go get X, Y, and Z. What do you need me to do?
Yeah.
But this was probably the one course of action that this is going to be the worst outcome in this whole thing.
Yeah.
It just could have been avoided. And this one actually is not that bad of a situation. Or the setup was not that bad, but the end result, I feel like, is pretty bad.
Yeah, it's not like he's being a little bit of a jerk. I mean, he's being all huffy because they can't get the meal done on time, and he's drinking their alcohol and he's watching TV while they're in doing all the work. So it sounds like he's got a little bit of a contribution of being a jerk, because it sounds like they normally had meals at their parents' house and they just decided to get together as siblings and do it.
I think they were still going to do. There was like an extra meal. This was something outside
of their norm. Yeah,
and they were still going to have Thanksgiving at their parents' house, but this was like a day or two before they wanted to get together.
But bottom line, there wasn't enough communication, and they just outright billed him. So they are.
Now, the being huffy, there is something. Listen, this drives me nuts. If we say we're going to get together, we're going to eat at noon, and it gets to or 1 or whatever, and if it gets to like 2:30. It's 2:30. You're still. It's like, listen, why? What is going on? Why are we still doing this? Everybody knows what time we're eating. A half hour. I'll give you a half hour.
Yeah.
But we start getting into an hour, 2 hours from the time we said we're going to eat.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm just saying there's tactful ways to handle things too, though.
I would be huffy and go sit in the living room.
Watch TV, drink the booze.
One thing I am going to knock him for, though, is he tattled to mommy. I don't like that part.
That is, he's kind of an a-hole for that.
Yeah, I was going to say, that is not great.
They're all 1/3 of an a-hole.
Yeah. Because then you've pitted more family, you've added additional family drama that didn't need to be
You're in
there.
your 20s. Be a man.
Yeah.
Man up.
Yeah.
Just tell them no, you're not going to pay it. Don't go, man, they sent me a bill. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
That is good call, Mike.
Call. In my head, it kind of almost canceled out the thing, but in the end, I still think the larger transgression was the bill.
Well, I think there was enough room for all three of them to be part of the problem.
But judging from the one, again, we get the one side.
To answer the one question, are they being, I'm saying yes.
Yes, yeah. I agree. Yeah. I agree. All right, well, we were pretty close to unanimous all the way through. So they weren't that hard. It was hard to. There was a ton of Thanksgiving ones, but I mean, most of them they were all kind of the same.
Yeah. Well, with Thanksgiving, it's got to be about the meal. And
well, there was a lot of them like I hate my parents, I hate my in-laws, my wife's a bee. It's like I don't want it. I'm trying to keep it somewhat light.
Maybe next year they can open a Thanksgiving commune.
Yeah.
My turkey is your turkey.
There you go. Well, let's move on to the dinner.
Thankfully, we never really had that drama with family growing up. I mean, we
never did.
Always got along. Most everybody seemed to like everybody. I mean,
well, this is the one, like, the one time of year, right, to get along in
Yeah.
the spirit of the
It's
holiday.
one day for a couple hours. You can't just get together, put aside your differences, and just.
But why
make
are there so
small talk.
many horror stories about families that doesn't happen? I mean, it's so weird.
know. I don't understand it. I can.
It's the people who have to make it about them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe the rest of my family was saying that about me, like, "Oh God, he's coming to dinner again."
Mike, the guy who just uses his hands as utensils.
That's right.
So dirty.
Why are we 45 minutes late?
I usually just make them listen to like 5 or 6 of our podcasts in a row
Oh, I apologize.
while I'm in my Speedo. All right.
But talking about having to wait for the meal to be done. I mean, I waited for an hour at Steak and Shake.
Well, it's
I
true.
mean,
That's very true.
And that was for Chili Mac.
that's right.
All right, well, let's move on.
I
Finish
could have
this
made
up.
my own in that amount of
Could've.
time.
The Thanksgiving meal. Let's talk like just real quick. We're pretty traditional with our Thanksgiving meal.
Us
I mean,
too.
it's kind of the traditional stuff.
Yeah. So
I think what throws or hurts a lot of people is they try. Sometimes you can overcomplicate meals. Don't do that at Thanksgiving. I've heard other people say this, and I kind of agree. Thanksgiving dinner is not the time to start experimenting with weird things. Just keep it the staples, the
Yes.
basics, the traditional staples. We don't need all this weird kind of infusion or deconstructed this or that. Just people want a traditional meal, a traditional dinner. That's what they want for the most part.
And where there are slight changes, then you do leave it to the host. I mean, we were talking earlier tonight about the stuffing. And some people have a preference of a more wet stuffing. Some people have more of a preference of a dry stuffing. And I mentioned like my brother-in-law does more of it's kind of like the breadcrumbs and the larger cranberries and things like that in it. But if I went to their house and that's what he made, fine. It's stuffing. I'll eat it. It's so you got to give some ownness to the host.
Some.
If there's a slight,
A tweak.
I'm not talking about deviating from the standard
A
meal.
tweak.
Yes,
We'll
tweak.
talk
We'll
about
give them
some
a
of those.
tweak.
Yeah, some. But I think another thing that is a big part of Thanksgiving, at least for us, are the leftovers. That's a big, like on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
I know. I'm worried I'm not going to
love-
have a lot of leftovers this year.
Are you fixing squab or
Well, no, we just didn't get that big of a turkey, and I'm
a
concerned
little anemic?
that we're not going to have
I've had
enough.
an eating
I mean,
disorder or
I
something.
bet you paid more for the smaller turkey than you
No,
did for,
actually, I got it at Kroger for 69 cents a pound.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I had to buy $25 worth of other stuff to
69
get
cents a
69
pound.
cents
It
a
cost him
pound.
$3.27. It's a tiny turkey. Real small.
Could be part of our
Small game hunters.
small game hunters. That's a whole nother story.
Oh yeah, but I love the Thanksgiving leftovers. Now we have some tradition in our family. One of them is I have an aunt that would make and still does, and she's making it this year. It's called lefse. It's a Scandinavian dish. It's kind of like a flour tortilla. They roll it out, except it's made with mashed potatoes, and they use that as part of the dough, the flour, and you mix it up and roll it flat, and then you cook it on a griddle. And it kind of makes like a Thanksgiving taco. I mean, we'll take them the next day. You heat them up. You put a little butter on them. And then you take the turkey. I'll do turkey gravy. You can put mashed potatoes in it, roll it up. Now, my wife she'll throw the stuffing and the cranberry, everything on it, and just roll it all up and eat it. I love it. It's fantastic.
I think they're having those at Taco Bell this
It
year.
might be.
The McTurkey.
Taco,
Or no, that's
the turkey
McDonald's.
taco.
The-
I'm going to give a quick shout out to some podcast friends of ours, the Greener Grass, because Jackie from the Greener Grass, she commented on one of their traditions. She said their big tradition is after Thanksgiving, they make Thanksgiving egg rolls. I was like, egg rolls?
Interesting.
And she said what they do is they get the egg roll dough, the strips of it, like they come in squares, and they will take them and they'll put the Thanksgiving, whatever is left over from Thanksgiving, they put it in there, and then they roll it over, and then they drop them in the Fry Daddy and fry them. I'm like, that actually sounds
do they put like
interesting.
cabbage in there to make it like
I
an
don't
egg
know.
roll?
I mean, whatever's left over, if you have cabbage, which I would say you better. No, that's not a tradition.
That's not a traditional one.
But we'll get into that in a second. But yeah, So yeah, I was like, I actually would probably try.
I'd try
that.
it.
Yeah, I would.
I like egg rolls.
Because you can make it with whatever you want. And that's what I think she was saying is whatever's left over. You just take whatever's left over,
Kitchen
throw it
sink.
on there,
Throw it in.
roll it up, drop it in the Fry Daddy for a few.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Mike, anything? Nothing? Anything weird, different?
Not really.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, ours is always kind of par for the course, I guess I should say. I mean, I can't even really think of one time we've had anything crazy. Leftovers, though, I will say, is always kind of like a Tupperware party for my family.
That's how ours
Yep,
was, too.
ours too.
It's like, I love how people ahead of time, like my aunt and uncle, they'll have like specific Tupperware containers picked out. It's like this one, these items go in this one. This item goes in this one. And they're already like very specific sizes. It's like, this is a science in my family, the Tupperware. It always blows my mind.
My dad, what he would do, because he hated doing dishes. So what he would do, we'd leave. All of the leftovers would go in zipper bags. He would have everything: turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, zipper bag, zipper bag. You walk out there with a bunch of zipper bags.
We're
Not
zipper bags,
dirtying dishes. We're not dirtying more dishes. It's all zipper bag, throw away, clean and easy. That's what he was all about. Like it's all throwaway.
Yeah.
So yeah, zipper bags full of gravy, mashed potatoes, turkey, everything. Did you have anything else for us?
No, I can't really think of anything out of the ordinary, really, that we do.
Okay. Well, the last thing I found a couple websites that were giving suggestions, and I started reading through them, and I kind of broke it down into like appetizer, entree, sides, desserts, and I just wrote down some of the samples, and we're going to vote on whether they should go on our table that we're putting together or not. Kind of like a Survivor, vote them on or off the table.
All right.
So they had for appetizers, they had one of the things. Well, first, do you guys do appetizers at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we will. But they're fairly small. Like some of my family members will make the pinwheels.
Yeah, pinwheels.
And usually, since most of my family are into deer hunting, there's some sort of a sausage, a snack product, cheese, crackers, that type of a thing. That'll
that's exciting.
that'll carry us over.
Yeah.
Jerky maybe or whatever.
Yeah.
There's usually plenty of that stuff to go around.
Yeah. We'll do a lot of the cheese and crackers and stuff like that.
And there's like usually a veggie tray.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to jump right in with the appetizers. One of the things they said was stuffed mushrooms. I think that you could definitely put. I try to.
I like stuffed mushrooms.
I do too.
Yeah.
Trying to think, mushrooms would be kind of a traditional thing, but I don't know the stuff. But I think I would give I would give stuffed mushrooms as a traditional dish. I would say yes.
Yeah, I'd vote for stuffed mushrooms.
So that it becomes a traditional thing?
I would say you could put that out there. If you were throwing together a traditional, say, I'm having a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, and I came and you had stuffed mushrooms as an appetizer, I wouldn't think,
I'd be all over them, yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't think this is weird. So I think that
I think
would
if
be
I
good.
saw that on the table, it's going on the plate.
Yeah.
And I had listed the same thing: meat tray,
Yeah.
or relish tray. See, I don't like pickles and stuff, but I remember as a kid, my mom they make a relish tray with olives and pickles and different things on there, and people would eat that. I personally didn't like it, but I would give you that.
But that could sit there the whole meal, and I wouldn't have to eat it.
Yeah. Then they had stuff that said cheesy green bean mushroom tart. I'm like, what? See, this is one of those where you're overcomplicating the thing. It was this weird, like, kind of little flaky biscuit with like long strands of green beans in the middle and a mushroom. It's like, no.
See, to me,
that's a no.
Okay, see, to me, the difference there is probably the mushrooms are not going to be part of your dinner. Whereas green beans are probably going to be part of your dinner as well. So I don't want my appetizer to be what's going to be in the dinner. So I say, ixnay those.
Caramelized onion goat cheese bites. Like, no, see, again, you're getting too fancy.
Yeah.
You don't need, that's where you're going to make mistakes on your Thanksgiving meal. Don't get fancy with this.
If you want to have some of the goat cheese out with the crackers, okay. I'm not a big
I'm
goat
mixing
cheese.
goat cheese. No.
Some
No
people
goat
like
cheese
it,
on
though.
it. It's not traditional.
How
The
can
Pilgrims did not have goats.
Well, they didn't have mushrooms either.
Yes, they did. We didn't invent mushrooms 100 years ago.
Show me one picture of the first feast that had stuffed
Cameras. It's
mushrooms.
just some artist interpretation.
Well, I know, but it was passed down through tradition.
I will find one. There is. I'm sure there's a painting.
Stuffed mushrooms.
There's a painting with Squanto holding a stuffed mushroom, giving thanks because we have
with goat cheese in the other hand.
No, they didn't have goat cheese.
Well, he's not holding it because he already ate it.
That's right.
They were gone.
They were so good.
Yeah.
They didn't even make it into the painting.
Well, hold it. Are these things supposed to be things that we like?
No, not necessarily.
So then why not goat cheese? Because some people do like goat cheese.
Well, I don't care if they like it. I don't think this is a caramelized onion goat cheese bite.
Well, no, I
that's going
said
on there.
if it was just goat cheese to go with the cheese platter.
Because it's weird.
Yeah,
I will say no. I'm going to make it
I'm
stand.
saying no to the caramelized onion.
I'm saying no to
cheese.
goat cheese. I'm not saying you can't have goat cheese. I'm saying at your Thanksgiving meal, do not put goat cheese on your meat and cheese platter. Because I'm going to come up there and say, oh, look, there's meat and cheese. I'm like, ugh, this is gross.
So it's your preference. It's
I
not
don't
a
like
matter
relish
of,
tray, but I will give you a relish tray. I remember the famous Pilgrim pickles. They were everywhere.
So you are saying, though, that it's your preference.
No.
Because somebody else might like goat cheese. And
Somebody
you're
else
saying,
likes
no, they're not
relish
going to be
trays.
on there because...
Somebody else likes relish trays. I don't.
Where did relish trays come from? We were talking about mushrooms and goat cheese.
I also said relish trays. I said, I don't like them, but I would give that to you at a traditional Thanksgiving dinner.
I think, the cutting off point is whether or not it will become, if you have it at this one, you're going to have it at the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. If you could see it blending in with like a Thanksgiving, if it's editable at the Thanksgiving meal.
I don't even
that's, I
know
think, the
if I
cutoff
like
point.
goat cheese. I don't know if I've even had it.
I
But I'm
have.
just saying, if you've already got a cheese platter and meats and crackers and it has goat cheese on it and somebody likes that and they want it on the platter each year.
Here's what I think Doug's trying to say. If you look at picture a cheese platter in your mind, is goat cheese on the cheese platter?
I mean, I've seen various cheeses on platters. I mean,
right, like
Well,
cheddar,
Greg lives
pepper
in
jack.
Ritzy Morton. He don't live over in Hicktown with you and me, Mike. Where we have like the American cheese or spray cheese.
Yeah.
Which one do you want on your cracker? An appetizer.
I think you get four cheeses on your tray. And goat cheese is not one that I would traditionally.
Four's a little much, but I will give you 4. I'll say okay.
You could get pepper jack, Colby jack, cheddar, and like Swiss or
American.
American. Yeah, something like that.
Havarti.
So, where did
See,
That is, you go to Costco and get their little cheese package that we always have.
Havarti? I think he's making words up.
Havarti.
I love Babanusha cheese.
But you've had it. You've eaten Havarti before. Here.
I know.
Don't
but
make goat cheese a hill to die on, Greg.
What I'm saying, though,
We
is
will leave
I've
you
never,
here and go to our Thanksgiving dinner.
I have never been to a Thanksgiving dinner.
He's
that
going to
had,
be texting Mike and I crying, why did you leave us?
I have never been to a Thanksgiving dinner that had stuffed mushrooms.
I
Ever.
have been.
Ever.
I
I've never
actually
to
have
one.
been.
But I bet I've been to one that had goat cheese.
I bet. Where? I want the date.
We had friends.
Oh, friend, here we go. My imaginary friend Dan, one time had us over at Thanksgiving in March. What? It's just imaginary. It's
No,
all fake.
we had some other friends that had a farm and
They milked the goat, made the cheese right in front of us, and we
right
ate
there,
fresh goat
churned
cheese.
churned it. So, but caramelized onion goat cheese out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go with that. We're out. That's out. Mushrooms in.
That was the only thing. So we both agreed on that, and somehow we got. Well, we didn't realize there was going to be this big goat cheese controversy. I'm scared to go on now.
I feel like in my head I can see readily if you go to some stranger's house the chances of there being stuffed mushrooms as opposed to goat cheese.
Thank you.
If it
on the
was
cheese
the house you went to was people who lived on a farm.
And they had goats, and they loved goats.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe they would have goat cheese. Let's randomly pick 100 people.
But they might also have stuffed mushrooms there too. Like that's the
Stuff
that's
with
the
goat
thing.
cheese.
There you go.
Okay, let's move on.
So the goat cheese caramelized onions are out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also said seafood tray. I'd see that as an appetizer.
Yeah.
I feel that for some reason, probably because we do it at work, I feel that's more of a Christmas one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's more of a New Year's.
Christmas.
Christmas.
So we're not gonna.
I'm not gonna put it on the Thanksgiving one.
I like a seafood.
I do
drink.
too, but I've never had it
All
at
right.
Thanksgiving.
I picture.
I have, but only I have bought one before and brought it, so I don't know that.
And I
Seafood
would.
and goat cheese.
And I would not. I'm not going to turn down the seafood.
on my seafood tray. I will guarantee it.
I'm not turning it down if I see it on the table, but I don't think it's going to be on. the
I don't
table.
think it's gonna be a traditional one.
Yeah.
One more. They said fried okra. And maybe that's a southern. I'm like, no, that is not at a Thanksgiving dinner.
I have probably had fried okra at a Thanksgiving dinner, but no.
No. So, all right. Well, that's it.
It's
for
kind
that.
of gross.
We'll move on to the entree, the main course.
Okay. Goat cheese.
Goat cheese stuffed turkey. No, I have turkey. Now they had all kinds. They had like garlic turkey this time. I'm just going to say turkey in general. Whatever you do with it, you fry it, you
smoke it.
Yeah, I'm good with that. If you have a turkey, I think that's great. Ham. I will put it. I will
You
say
got ham.
Yep.
salmon.
No.
I do not want fish as my main meal. Now that's one that the Pilgrims probably had fish.
They probably had fish.
But we're going to take it off the tradition. We're going to say, no,
Yeah.
Pilgrims, you were wrong.
I love salmon, but it's not a Thanksgiving meal.
No,
it's not a
I do
Thanksgiving
not want
meal.
it.
No salmon.
I don't want it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Any other time I'll eat salmon.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, mushroom steaks. I'm like, if I show up to a Thanksgiving and they bring out a giant mushroom and start cutting it up, I'm going to be like, no, we're out. Then I'm with that guy's fiance. No, we're bringing my old food.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is not now. Now
Well, you
I
don't
take that all back.
You don't replace the meat anyways. It's like,
Yeah, I guess we didn't know. Maybe what are they cooking over there?
They said traditional, but we don't know what.
goat cheese.
I wouldn't think goat cheese would be there, but maybe it was all goat cheese.
Say, please don't make me do it. Please don't make me eat the goat cheese.
This was one I saw several people post, and I lasagna. I love lasagna.
I do too.
I do not want it at the unless like your grandpa flew in from Italy and is at the table, and he made it. Maybe, but I got to take it off the list.
It's not the traditional. No,
I got to take it off the list. And another one that I love, and I've had this too, but not for Thanksgiving, prime rib roast. I've seen people say, but that's not a traditional Thanksgiving.
No.
I cannot give it to you. I won't be as upset if I show up and you got that over salmon or mushrooms, but that I've had more like Easter. We've done a prime rib roast before, so
Yeah.
But at Thanksgiving, I think you got to stick with turkey or ham. That's just what I'm thinking. I think you got to have that.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
I think
that.
so. I can't think of another.
No. All right, well, let's move on to our sides. I got mashed potatoes.
Yep.
You got to have mashed potatoes, and I want mashed potatoes. I think we got to do this. I know people
Yeah,
do
we don't
different
go
things with
heavy
them.
into these, but
I want mashed potatoes, and we got to have gravy at the dinner.
yes.
Now, I have been to some Thanksgivings where there's no gravy.
I know it's a little freaky. It's like
I think on your side in the past, I've been to some and they don't make gravy.
somebody doesn't. But
My wife doesn't like gravy, and I'm like, I gotta have gravy.
yeah, there's got to be some gravy.
I don't
See, I feel like Lori would even if it was just the jarred gravy, she would bring it. I thought,
Maybe she
but
did. Maybe she did. I just thought that there was time because I thought I asked her like, and it might have been early on our marriage where she's like, what? I was like, don't you get the gravy? I'm like, no,
I like gravy.
I'm like,
Mom would make some gravy.
I
But
don't
See,
know, maybe
I'm
not.
I'm not that big into gravy,
I
honestly,
love it.
myself. But I like some types of gravy more than others. But you have to have the gravy.
You gotta
Because
have it.
People will put it on not only the potatoes, but it'll go on turkey,
Stuffing.
and yeah, it's going to go on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you're handicapping people if you don't have the gravy.
well, it's got to be part of the traditional meal. It's
Yeah.
got to
Yeah.
be.
Now, sweet potatoes. I don't like sweet potatoes, but you need those at the dinner.
I can see him being there too.
And I will even say this: if you're going to put them out there, you got to throw some marshmallows and toast them on top. That's what it's got to be. And I don't like marshmallows, but you get your Thanksgiving peeps. You put on top there, you toast them up.
That's the preferred. Yeah.
So green beans.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, they're there.
Now I like green. I don't do
They're
the
there.
green bean casserole.
Yeah.
I do fried green beans.
Yeah.
And I like those. But
green beans are going to be there in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's
they're
the
a staple.
casserole,
You have to have a green bean of some kind. Corn.
Yeah.
I would say, you think that's a staple?
Yeah.
Anymore, corn casserole has gotten to be a staple on ours.
My wife asked, am I going to have any casseroles on this list? I said, I don't know. I know casseroles are big. I do not care for casseroles myself.
I do like corn casserole.
And I do too. And our family even just has like just corn, like sweet corn.
Yeah.
It just on its
All
own
right, we'll
too.
keep corn.
So-
I think
on the
corn
list.
kind of needs to be there.
A lot of people had like...
Because I think the Pilgrims probably had corn before they had mushrooms.
Or goat cheese.
Or goat cheese.
Probably. The mushrooms grew wild, though. They didn't even have to do anything. They just go out and pick them. A lot of people had different glazed carrots and stuff, although I will say that's not like a traditional. You can have it.
I
but
don't mind having some glazed carrots, but
I'm kicking it off the table.
Yeah,
you
it's
don't.
fine.
You don't need.
I don't need it.
You don't need
No.
the carrots. Now the next one, Greg's going to fight me on because he'll want to keep it, but Brussels sprouts.
I do not want to keep it.
I don't. I like Brussels sprouts.
hate
I don't
Brussels
see
sprouts.
them as they're not a traditional thing.
I don't like them.
Nope.
And
No, I've
never
like
had
'em.
at a
I'll
Thanksgiving.
oven roast them. I've seen some. They had some recipes in there where they
You
wrapped
gussy
bacon
them
around
up,
them and
huh?
roasted them. All right, let's see how this one goes. Ton of people are putting mac and cheese. I say no.
I have not.
No.
I've not seen
We
Why
would
would
maybe
either?
do that for the grandkids.
Well,
but-
yeah, I'm not saying your grandkid. I'm saying
on the happy plate.
Yeah.
but for your main dish, I don't want to see you bringing up macaroni and cheese.
No.
Wait, are we
no.
the main dishes or side dishes?
Or like
Oh,
the
sides. Yeah,
side
sides.
Yeah, even as a side, I
No.
don't think I've encountered mac and cheese
Yeah.
at Thanksgiving.
And we've already talked about this as stuffing. You got to have
Yeah.
stuffing.
Yeah.
I don't want oysters in my stuffing. Just keep it. I guess
Oysters?
out east they do oyster stuffing.
No, I don't want anything like that in it.
Any excuse I can find in East Coast.
I know you
Yeah.
talked about this too. I don't want apples in my stuff. I just want stuffing. I want.
Yeah. I like
want
a base.
Just bread stuffing.
See, my family has they've got the bread base, it's kind of dry, but they throw in a seasoned sausage in there.
Ooh, that's
and it's
good.
some onion.
Yeah.
I will say it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Some sausage and stuffing is fine.
If I go that route, I'm great with it. But I also will not. I don't mind a
bread stuffing.
See, but I think
Yeah.
if we're going to stay traditional, I say it's got to just be plain stuffing.
and that's fine.
No, I like the sausage stuffing.
I tell you, this year it's stovetop.
I'm just going the route. If we're gonna dress up the dressing, let's move it in a certain way,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, with
But,
sausage, I could definitely go for
yeah,
that.
not apples or whatever. I don't want that.
No.
Yeah.
All right, that was the end of that. So I got a few
Oh,
desserts here.
that was the end of sides?
Yeah, unless you have some more.
How about deviled eggs?
Oh, I'm.
See, is that an appetizer?
No, I think it's a side. I
envision it as
I
a
eat
side.
it as a side because I don't eat it before I eat the meal. I mean,
See,
it's
my
with
mom
the
would
meal.
put out an egg platter on the table that everybody would. Except for me,
I'm
I don't
going
like
yes.
deviled eggs.
I'm going yes on the deviled eggs.
I feel like it's a staple. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like deviled eggs, but I would say it's a staple. You need to have them at the.
all right.
At the
And then
dinner.
one last thing I had, and I don't know where you were going to stick this. If you rolls,
Ooh,
Yeah, we can. You got to have
some
rolls.
kind of
You got to
rolls.
have some kind of roll.
yeah.
Hawaiian rolls or dinner rolls or
Yeah. I didn't even have bread.
goat cheese rolls.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have bread, but yeah, you gotta have a roll. Of some
Gotta have
kind,
rolls.
a dinner roll or something.
Yeah.
And then real quick on desserts, they have. I mean, they had all kinds of. They had
Yeah.
like weird tarts and mousse, truffles or trifles or whatever they're
Oh,
called.
trifles, yeah.
I'm like, don't again. Let's stick with the
The
basics.
basics
Let's do
I've
a
got.
pumpkin pie,
Yeah.
pecan pie,
Yeah.
apple pie.
Yeah.
I would do all three of those. They had a cherry crumb pie. I don't think a cherry is a traditional. I like
For
a
some
cherry
reason,
crumb
I don't
pie.
either, and I like them.
I would say no.
See, now,
I would say no.
For our house, Lori, for years, and I know you guys don't care for this, but she makes that orange tapioca jello that
Now, I will say that I have Jello salad listed here, so I think you
that would
need-
fall in as a jello
I think you
salad.
need some kind of a Jello salad, like my aunt and we have a lot of times. We called it Bavarian cream, but it's that kind of like a Cool Whip and a pudding mix or a
Well, that's
Jello
what
mix.
this is,
and-
but it's got
Yeah.
the tapioca in it.
Ooh, I don't like
Yeah,
tapioca.
but
Tapioca.
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 I'm gonna have her put goat cheese in it this year.
I hope you get a ton of goat cheese.
No,
You
but
might
she
be getting
makes
that for your
She
Christmas
makes that
gift.
orange. It's whipped cream with orange Jello and
Yep.
yeah.
I agree. A Jello salad is kind of a staple. You got to have some kind of a Jello salad. And I had that under a dessert too. Now my wife does not call that a dessert. She's like, "That's a side." I'm like, "That's dessert to me."
We eat it more as a side, but it's a
dessert.
sweet. I mean, it's a
dessert.
yeah.
And that was the last dessert I had.
Yeah, that's all I had too. Were the basics.
Mike, any thoughts?
I did have a very
cinnamon rolls? I don't know. I'm trying to pull some dessert out that maybe.
I
different.
did have a very random. I was looking up some oddities for Thanksgiving meal, like meals. I found one that I found very odd.
Okay.
I'm not going to include this as a traditional staple or anything. This is just for fun, I thought. A ham and banana casserole.
Oh,
Speaking on the casserole front,
that sounds disgusting.
Bananas, man, I can't.
it popped
I
up
can't
in
do
a
bananas.
few articles.
I
I'm
can
like,
do ham and pineapple.
what?
That is one thing I will not be eating.
Yeah.
It is literally, it's like a pinwheel. They
Oh.
wrap the banana in ham, cover it with mustard and cheese sauce,
Oh,
and bake it.
Yeah, that does not sound good.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, that's not good.
And a quick Google search shows it's a fairly popular thing.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
No, not eating that.
Nope,
All right.
not even a question.
No.
Yeah.
Was that all you had, or do you
Yeah.
have anything else?
That one I could not ignore.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate all of our
Yeah.
listeners.
Did you
Thank
have any drinks?
for
Particular
coming.
drinks?
I did not. Do you have a couple?
Well, I just put. Some people will have wine
Yeah.
with
Iced
a
tea.
Thanksgiving
We
meal.
do iced tea.
You know, water, of course, soda, iced tea. Those are kind of the staples.
Goat milk.
Maybe a cider of some sort. Yeah, goat milk.
Yeah, cider. I would give you cider. I don't care for cider, but I would definitely say it's
Maybe
a
even a
traditional
warm
one.
cider, of some sort.
Warm or hot?
Well, hot cider.
Okay, I didn't know if there was something different. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
All right. So that's all I had on drinks. I just
All right.
a couple popped in.
All right. Well, a little
Mike
bit
has the
longer.
Thanksgiving shower beer.
Tradition. Start early.
Start early. All right. Well, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in for listening to the show. We want to thank you on our Thanksgiving episode for listening to the show.
That's right.
If
Gobble,
you like
gobble.
what you gobble gobble, if you like what you hear, give us a 5-star rating. Give us a good review. Hit the share button. Go check out our YouTube channel with some videos that we do out there as well. And we hope you have a great week. Relax. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. You know what? Do yourself a favor. During Thanksgiving, turn your phones off. Put the things down. Get away from the screen. Unplug for a couple hours. Just relax. Sit down. Don't think about anything else but eating and relaxing, visiting, getting to know the people that you say you hate. No, I don't know if you hate them or not. Give it, just relax. Enjoy yourself.
Have a scoop of goat cheese.
Have a scoop of goat cheese, but not for Thanksgiving. Have it on the day after Thanksgiving or before. Greg and I are going to resolve this goat cheese incident after the show. We'll get it all worked out. But we do thank you for tuning in, and we hope you're listening in 7 days. We're going to kick off the big Christmas season. We'll be doing a bunch of Christmas stuff, Christmas taste testing products, all kinds of stuff. So it'll be interesting.
Mike's already prepared for one of them.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you're tuning in 7 days. Until then, happy Thanksgiving. See ya.
Later.
Peace.
Well, that wraps up another episode. Thanks for listening. Please be sure to subscribe, and you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.